Welcome back to CryptoWise. My name is Marvin.
And my name is Milton.
And we got a crazy episode ahead of us.
Woo!
So many things to talk about, Milt.
What a day to be alive. What a day to be in crypto. Good times, people. Cherish these times. Cherish them.
These are the times. And we have a very special guest coming on today.
Coach K. I'm excited. We got the one, the only Coach K. Been watching this guy. He's been in crypto forever. He's got so many great insights. Going to be a lot of fun having a chat with him, see what he's into recently.
Yeah, we're going to bring him in very, very soon. Milton, listen, CryptoWise family, thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please do us a huge favor and smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click on that little bell. That bell's going to get you real-time alerts when we drop live. Also, if you haven't, join us on Twitter at CryptoWise Daily and our Telegram group at CryptoWise Official. Now, Milton, just taking a peek here at the market, things have been heating up nicely as predicted.
Oh, yeah, and Polkadot season is here. We've been waiting for this for a long time. Polkadot season. It feels like when your favorite sports team is winning, or in first place. Not that Polkadot's in first place yet, but eventually it will get there. But we've been waiting. We watched the Solanas have their time. We watched the Avalanches and all these other layer ones have their time. Time for some layer zeros. Time for some Polkadot auctions starting in about 10 days' time. This is exciting times.
10 days' time. We called it yesterday that we were going to break 50 by today, and here we are. We broke it nicely up to 52, down right now to 51.50, but things are just heating up. The parachains are coming in 10 days. No, what? 9 days. 9 days. 9 days time.
I'm right on schedule. I got a bunch of my DOT being unstaked. That's a 28-day process.
Ooh.
So,
not with Celsius, it ain't.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The DOT, if you keep DOT in Celsius, you can get almost 9% on that, and you can just get it anytime. You don't have to do the unlock, so that is pretty smart. I do have some DOT in there, so that's ready to go too, but I've got a bunch on my fear list being unstaked, ready for these crowd loans to start.
Can't wait. I can't wait. Now, aren't you a little bit disappointed that you're not in New York City right now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love being at your place. I'm at Marvin's palatial estate.
You're damn right.
But New York City would be a lot of fun right now with the NFT, the big NFT conference going on there.
Amazing. I've been watching some of what's going on. The billboards are insane. They're absolutely insane. NFTs have literally taken over Manhattan and Times Square. There is so much going on, so many huge parties, and just billboards galore. NFT projects all over the place. It's absolutely wild where we are right now compared to where we were a year or two ago in this space. Things have changed. Now look at this, Milt. Woo! I had to bring this up real quick. A Bored Ape on the cover of Rolling Stone.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
If you don't think we're going mainstream, guys, where the hell are you? You living under some rock somewhere?
I mean, the hilarious thing is it's mainstream trying to stay relevant here, right? Like Rolling Stone is probably like, what will keep us relevant? Because these NFTs are what's relevant right now. So they're kind of the Stone Age magazine trying to stay relevant. And so they're hanging on to the coattails of crypto to stay relevant.
Now, if you owned this ape, whoever owns this ape here, it's his lucky day. If I woke up and I saw my ape on the cover of Rolling Stone, I'd be a happy, happy camper. Now, on some more bitter news, I don't know if you read about this, but the reason I'm bringing this up is obviously I just watched Squid Game, right? And I got hooked on this show. But there was a currency that came out called Squid, right? And this is everywhere. This is the Washington Post. I saw it in the Times. I saw it on CNN alerts today. They love a good scam when it's crypto related. And Squid Game inspired cryptocurrency soared by 23 million%, now worthless. After they pulled the rug, and they're explaining what a rug pull is, and they're tying it to this. So obviously these guys created this project, leveraged the Squid Game, called it Squid.
I feel so bad for these people
pulled out
because
3.3
I talk to so
million.
many people. When you're not in crypto, and it's so, it can be hard to wrap your brain around these things. So you see something like Squid and you just FOMO into it. It's sad when you see these stories.
It is sad when you see these stories, but then this guy made me a lot happier when I saw him. And I don't know how many of you guys are watching from your 9-to-5 job right now, but this guy is what I felt like when I had a 9-to-5.
Well, we're on the yes part today.
Yeah, we're on the yes
hopefully
part
that
today.
no part doesn't come for a while.
Anyways, Milt, I think it's time to bring in Coach K.
we gotta bring in our guest. Guys, this guy is one of the big crypto influencers out there. He knows his stuff, so this is gonna be exciting. Make sure you go to YouTube. He's got his own YouTube channel, Coach K. Also follow him on Twitter for sure. This guy is amazing. He's a must follow on Twitter at Coach K Crypto. Welcome to the show, Mr. One and Only Coach K.
What a warm welcome, man. Jeez.
Well, it's morning here, so we're getting hyped up. I know it's nighttime where you are, but here we're just getting started.
You guys are getting started. I'm winding down. It's kind of, in crypto, do we ever really wind down? Sometimes I stay up until the middle of the night anyway, so
No,
I'm
we
sure
take-
you guys are all used to that.
Oh, yeah. We just take naps between checking our crypto. We talked about that the other day on the show. How many times during the night when you're sleeping do you check crypto? The rollover.
Every time I
check.
every time I wake up to take a piss, I'm checking my crypto. I want to come chill in that man cave of yours there, Coach.
You need to.
That is a cool. I love that. I love that man cave you got going on there.
It's not a real man cave, but I'll give props to the guy who made the 4K man cave. But there will be a real man cave soon.
Nice.
Well, hey, the metaverse is
Yes,
here,
come
man.
visit.
So real or not real, those lines are blurring,
I like the way you think about that. That's a good one. It's Coach K's metaverse.
Yeah.
Love it. All
I
right,
got
guys,
crypto,
where should
I
we
got
start?
football, I got basketball.
Oh, nice.
I got hockey. I got tennis.
Hockey even.
Whatever
Wow.
you want, man. I got you.
All right, guys, where should we start? Let's talk some crypto. Our audience, I know they want us to go all degen, and we will go degen because we got so many altcoins. You're in a ton of altcoins that we're not in, so I'm excited to get to there. But let's start maybe bigger picture. I'm curious. This is one of the questions that I love talking to people about because there's so many layer ones now that are relevant. This time last year, it was Ethereum, and then Binance Smart Chain came onto the scene. Now we got so many. I want to hear from you. What are your faves? What ecosystems are you most watching, most in? Is it still Ethereum, or where are you at these days with the layer ones? And I include Polkadot, even though it's layer 0.
So here's the thing, man. There's a lot. There's a lot that I'm invested into, and I have a very different investment thesis than most influencers because I'm a fund manager as well. And so when it comes to layer ones, what I'm looking for is next cycle. So I talked about this before. Right now, you don't know when the end of the cycle is going to be, but I know that it's probably going to be at some point in the next 3 to 6 months. So knowing that, I don't want to invest in stuff that I'm going to have a 2-year vesting into a bear market unless I'm really confident in it. So layer ones, you know that they're going to build an ecosystem around it. What is the ecosystem? It's DeFi. It's privacy coins. It's stable coins. It's an exchange. It's a DEX. It's, pretty much anything you think of, file storage, internet, cloud computing, you name it. Every single blockchain is going to do the same thing. Which one will win? Here's the thing. How many companies are in the world? How many of those are done well? How many of those do similar things? Lots of them. So in crypto, because it does so many different things and it can be so, it's eccentric because you can have something like Immutable X, which is like, oh, NFTs in gaming really need their own blockchain because there's so many of them and it's so expensive on ETH, and it can still be kind of a little bit expensive on other chains. So what can we do? We can focus on Immutable X, which is feeless, gasless, instant. We don't have to wait. So we can play games seamlessly, and then we can transfer our stuff back to ETH and all on ETH, so you don't really notice it's there. So stuff like that is where I'm kind of focusing on, is what's going to be the Solana of next ecosystem? What's going to be the DOT of the next time we have a bull market? And so, that's a really long thesis for a crypto person, right? Like the average crypto entrepreneur is like, I'm going to try and get rich in 6 months. Whereas me as a fund manager, now coming from that influencer to the fund manager side, I think of a longer term thesis because I see where we're going. Google just invested in crypto through SoftBank. We have Facebook that's going into metaverses. We have all the banks just recently said that they're going to get involved in crypto because they realize that it's the future. They're fucking far behind, so far behind. They're shaking their knees because they see DeFi and they go, we can't match that. We can't give people 5 to 8%. We only give them 0.5% a year or less. So
I hear you. And I agree with everything you just said there. I'm curious though. Okay, so which one, so you mentioned Immutable X. Which one would you say you're looking at for the next cycle? For the next cycle. So one that you think for the next cycle, and then one, but I also want to know, when you wake up, which wallets are you checking? Which networks are you on? Where are you actually putting your money and making your trades on right now in terms of networks?
Very good question. I'm very across the board. In terms of timing, at the earlier start of the year, I was very focused on DOT. You can see that in my Twitter, where I had Polkadot as beside my name. I was very bullish on it, and I realized after Polkadot had its narrative kind of play out, that it didn't have the functionality yet for it to really continue that momentum. And I saw it it would slowly move into Kusama. So I saw that. So I was really bullish on DOT. ETH, I'll always be a bull on ETH, even though it's really expensive. It's the only chain that ever worked forever. Even remember this, even Solana has gone down recently, twice. Yeah. So it's not perfect. It's not a perfect situation. It's a beta mainnet. It's not a mainnet. We have new blockchains that are still old, like Lambda, right? Tau. Very, very not known, but it's the only L1 that you can full on have 1 million developers tomorrow, because you don't need to learn a new coding language. It's all in Python. So I'm looking at that as an ecosystem for more that could grow within the next 6 months immensely, because it's only a $50 million market cap, and it's all the tokens have been out for 2 years, right? So
interesting. What? Say that one again, so that our audience, just to make sure our audience caught that. Yeah. Which one was that?
It's called Lambda, TAU. It's the only L1 blockchain in the whole entire space, other than Ethereum, which no one really uses Python anymore. They use Solidity. Other than that, there's no other way that millions of developers around the world can develop on blockchain. They need to learn Solidity. They need to learn Haskell. They need to learn Rust. That's a learning process. That means they're going to make a lot of mistakes in that learning process. They need to make those mistakes to understand their mistakes. With Python, they may have done those mistakes 1 million times already, and they already know what works and doesn't work. So to develop something on a blockchain that's an L1, this is a very, very strong narrative. And I think that, a lot of people that understand that is the reason why Ethereum has done so well, is because they have more developers than everywhere else. Well, hell, what would it, think about it like this way. If Ethereum has 100,000 developers, Python has 10 million. So how much more could be developed on it?
Yeah.
So I look at it like that, and then I keep my investment thesis super simple, because I think that the best fund managers that I know personally don't think too much about every investment they make. They think about granularly, will this work? Do they have the team that will make this work? Do they have the people involved that can actually do what they're saying they're going to do? And then can they execute? And so I learned from really, really smart guys from the traditional markets that you got to not go too deep into your analysis. You have to look at, does this actually make sense or not? And once I started doing that, I started doing 50x, 100x, 20x, 50x, 100x over and over again. Everyone's like, how do you pick these? And I'm like, it's just whatever makes the most sense is what I actually will put my money into. Whatever I can look at and go, that's something I would use. That's something that you can build. That's something that will help the ecosystem. Then I'm like, all right, here's some money, and let's see what you can do with it.
I get the you talked about the shift earlier for you when you were very big on DOT, you had an extra name, and then you made a shift to Kusama. Now, I understand that from the short-term perspective of looking at, okay, we got our gains at a DOT narrative slowed down, Kusama's getting the momentum, but long-term, Polkadot's not even really here yet. I mean, for what I believe is that we're still very, very, very early days on the DOT ecosystem. Parachains are just going live on the 11th. we're not even close to there yet. So maybe you can dive a little deeper on your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, DOT is like parachains aren't out for 9 more days. So, you know, it's pretty soon. But remember, KSM was the feeder. I look at it like this. If you know sports, you understand minor league and major league. And minor league is the KSM chains that are getting DOT. They're getting their KSM parachains.
Yeah.
And the first ones that will get DOT parachains are the ones that got KSM parachains. We have 48 we have 48 right now that are going to be coming up in the next few months for KSM. And those ones will likely, if they win, be the ones that go next onto DOT. So we know there's like kind of a feeder system like we have in sports with those. But that's just one ecosystem, because KSM and DOT are kind of one ecosystem. I'm not even talking about Rune. I'm not talking about Phantom. I haven't talked about Luna. I haven't talked about Solana. Like, there's a lot of other blockchain ecosystems that are out there. There's ADA, Cardano, there's AVAX, and there's Atom. And I'm invested in, as well as DAG. I'm invested in all of them, by the way.
Yeah, that's actually what I wanted to ask you next is, is it a bit of, because we're kind of the same in that, you know, I like using the ones that I'm invested in, and it's getting to the point where it's hard, where I have so many different wallets, so many networks, where do I have what? But I agree with you in that in terms of the layer ones, I want to have a little piece of almost all of them just in case, because you don't know. I'm also big on Elrond. I don't know if you're into Elrond too.
Same.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's interesting to hear. So you are more that kind of, with the layer ones, making sure you have a little bit of each one, and then I guess going bigger with the ones that you believe in the most?
Well, here's the thing. Narratives. A lot of people don't play them well enough. A lot of people fight the narrative that makes sense. So when I told people Shiba and Floki and Dodge and all that stuff, I was a very big hater of those. But the thing is, I stopped at one point and was like, I'm wrong, you know? And I can admit that. I'm one of the only influencers who's like, yeah, I'm wrong. I screwed that up. My bad. Let's figure out what I should do better. But the reason why I'm like that is like, oops, I can learn from that. And so what happened was, when I realized that I sold $105 million of SHIB for $300 in July of 2020, I realized that I had made a mistake.
Did you throw up at the same time, or was it just like a...
Bro, I bought $150 worth of SHIB. My friend told me, yo, this is going to be the Dodge killer. I laughed at him and said, sure, whatever, I'll buy $150. It was like half an ETH at the time. I bought it, I held it, it made a few $100, and I was like, cool, and I sold it. I bought it again, I made a few $100, and I sold it. And all I do is look at those two numbers that I bought. And in total, the two of them would have been about $400, just under $4. And the total amount of wealth, had I sold it a week ago, would have been about $128 million.
Yeah.
Now, some people will let that will ruin their day. Right?
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, cool. That was a mistake. That's a learning experience. I still made it regardless. But what it taught me was I should suspend my disbelief, or my belief, suspend the disbelief that this shouldn't be working. That the idea of the markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. And I mean, as a trader, that's a very big thing that should ring in your ears, is like, things don't make sense all the time, but you can make money from things not making sense. So if I knew that very likely SHIB money at the all-time high, when my friends who are the ones who created SHIB, I won't name names, but my friends told me to buy it, those guys were also the ones who told us that if we get on Coinbase, that will likely be our exit. And so we'll likely exit. And then I saw, now we have Dinger and we have Floki, and Floki's got crazy good marketing. And as we know in the world, the companies with the best marketing are the ones that win, not the ones that have the best products, not the ones that have the best customer service, the ones that people think are the best. And that comes down to marketing. And that happens a lot in crypto. There's a lot of shitty companies in crypto that do extremely well, and you're like, why? And it's because the right people are pushing it. And that's the truth about this industry and all industry.
So true.
That is interesting, though. I honestly look at it a bit different. And I don't look at it different. I agree with everything you just said. But from an investing standpoint, when you have 12,000 and a bunch coming onto the market every day, it's so hard to know where to allocate your funds. Obviously, we all have finite funds, no matter how much you have. You can't be in all of these ones. So for me, my perspective on it is I missed out on the meme coins, and I'm not in on any of the meme coins. And I'm okay with that. I'd rather put my money because I think Not that, but I'm with you that I don't hate on the people that made money there. I'm all for it because,
Hey, man, I love people making money. I made 100 of people that were close to me for years that I told, if you stay close to me, when the market actually gets ready again, I will be ready. And I know all the right people. The people who stuck with me made millions of dollars. Every one of them. Like 100 people in my closed group made $1 million for the first time in their life, changed their whole world, right? Why did I do that? It's because money doesn't make you happy. Money is just money. It's just something that like byproduct of getting.
I don't know, coach. Sure. I don't know. Money makes me quite happy. I like counting it at night. I put it under my pillow. It's nice and soft.
I call Marv Scrooge McDuck because I'm actually here visiting him right now. I hear him muttering to himself, counting his money all the time. But I will say this. For me, I think crypto is one of those few times. It's like one of these like amazing times in the history of our world where you can do both. You can make amazing gains by supporting what are going to be the projects that change our world, like the very best technology of this Web3. For me, Polkadot is the best example of that. It's the one I like the best. Now, to each his own there, but I think I've already made insane gains on Polkadot. I'm expecting to make even more insane gains, and I'm expecting it to change the world in the way that Ethereum did in the last cycle. So I think you can do both. If you're someone who is good, like it sounds like you're really great at figuring out what the narrative is, being able to get that wave, get on the wave early enough that you can be part of that main wave. Because, okay, so let's maybe switch the conversation to one of the waves that's happening right now, which is gaming. And it seems like you've done really well in the gaming space. But for someone like me, okay, so I've invested in a few games that that just launched or are having their launch soon that I'm hopeful will do really well. I missed out on the Axie Infinities and stuff like that, the Star Atlases. Where are you at? If someone is coming into crypto today, this is their first day of crypto, they're seeing that all the game coins are pumping. Do you think there is still time for them to get on that wave and ride it? Or should they be looking for what the next narrative is going to be?
Here's the problem, man. People, when I got in crypto, I remember saying, oh man, I'm too late. It was like $300. It's too late. You know, like it was like it actually ended up being, when I finally bought it, like $146. Something, you know, like, I'm too late. You know, the problem is we always tell ourselves, oh, we're too late. Guys, let me put something in perspective for you. Our market cap, let me just look at it. Our market cap is $2.72 trillion. What's the market cap of Microsoft? Does anyone know? Anyone know?
No, not offhand, but yes. A lot more than that?
It's not a lot more than that, but it is, as of right now, $2.5 trillion.
Wow.
A one company in the world.
Wow.
What about Apple? What about Apple's market cap?
It's over $3 trillion, no?
I think so. It's let me see. I'll just make sure, double check. Apple's market cap currently is, doesn't say anywhere. Anyways.
That's okay.
Where is that? 2.808 trillion. So between Apple and Microsoft, they have a bigger market cap than Bitcoin times 2.
Wow.
Or times 4 between the two of them. And then we also have them, Apple's projecting to, at the end of this year, reach 3 trillion. So they'll have a bigger market cap than all of crypto, including Bitcoin. So if we put that in perspective, are you too early for gaming? Guys, let me put this in perspective for you. World of Warcraft is a multi-billion-dollar a year profitable game. That's one.
No, I agree with everything that you're saying, but here's the thing, and those of us, and I'm sure you lived through this too. Okay, so those of us who were around the last cycle and lived through the last bear winter, the question, I guess, becomes for us, not that we think we're too early. We know we're not too early. We know that gaming eventually is going to be a much larger industry. But, okay, so Marv and I, let's take one example, Star Atlas. Marv and I have a kind of a friendly bet going. I think I'm going to be able to get into Star Atlas at some point. I don't know when, 6 months from now, 8 months from now. At some point, I think there's going to be a big crash and I'll be able to get into it. Marv thinks you got to get in now because there's going to be a big pump. So
actually, I said that when it was at 7 cents. By the way, let's just clarify, Milt. My thought was my thinking is Star Atlas is years away from being truly what it is, but at the same time, when we hit those lows around 6-7 cents, I was suggesting that's a good entry for a long-term play on Star.
So how do you, okay, so Star Atlas is one example of many. How do you balance this idea of investing now because you know it's super early on this industry, but also being ready if there is that big kind of bear market that people, are scared of, and we don't know if it's going to happen, obviously, but it's happened a few times already. How do you weigh that? Being ready for that, but also making sure you're not missing out right now on these gains.
Okay, I'll ask you a question then. Do people play games during bear markets?
Absolutely, 100%. I play games no matter
Do
what the
people play
hell is
games
going.
during bull markets?
Yes. Thank you, Coach
Okay,
K.
so people play games in general, and
Right.
boys and girls and adults and children play games.
Yes, unless you're under 16 in China during the day. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you guys understand there's a huge market for this, and people always want to have fun. Well, what happens if I told my son, who's 6 years old, and my other son, who's 4.5 or almost 5, I said, hey man, you could play Roblox, but you could actually, while you complete all these tasks that you do and you earn all these points, you could convert them to some type of coin that you could buy a new game or get Roblox tokens or whatever else that's worth money. Do you think my kids that are only that age would play that? Yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, of course. So when you take that and you make a cool game that's fun for adults, like The Syndicate, if you guys have ever seen that, it's basically like playing Grand Theft Auto as an adult. You get your friends to come in, your squad, your mafia. You go and take over other people's turf. You shoot them, you kill them. It's like
fantastic.
In a game. And you steal their freaking crypto. You steal their NFTs, whatever they're holding, you get that. Those are in your possession now. It's just like a regular, normal game, kind of like Ready Player One, where if you die in the game, you lose some tokens. You lose some of your stuff. You lose all your stuff. You zero out. That's where we're going. And it's not even just the gaming. I think you're missing the narrative right now is the Metaverse. The Metaverse is the narrative. Gaming already happened. Gaming is like, we're here. Metaverse was like, yo, we are here. Facebook came in and said, yeah, you are. Right? And then what happens within the last 5 days? SoftBank opens something up and Google invests in the Metaverse, right? Banks all say we're going to start opening up. Bank wants to work with Metaverse games and basically make banking inside of the game. Like, this is so much more than the normal person who is still thinking about a Metaverse. They don't know what the fuck that means.
Now that I agree with you. Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's important for people to understand, though, just because the narrative around gaming is so strong doesn't mean that every game's going to survive these bears.
Yes.
And a lot of these stories are just stories. These guys haven't built anything in a lot of cases. And so how do you
must
pick?
Look at the team.
Yeah.
You must look at the team. Okay, so few questions that I asked that nobody asked teams. What's your tokenomics models? Usually, like, here's our tokenomics. I'm like, no, what are your models? And they're like, what do you, usually I would say 90% of teams, because I don't invest in 95% of projects that I talk to, 90% of teams go, what do you mean? And I say, what do you mean? What is your tokenomics model? Where does your token go after pre-sale? How does it come back to your platform? How do you add value to your token? Where is your revenue models? And most of them, they go, and I'm like, okay, I'm not investing in your project. I tell them right in their face, just like we are talking right now, but like, I'm not investing in your project. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. And I'll tell people again, I mean, with other projects, and I'm like, so what have you guys done in this space? And they're like, oh, we've been in like banking and we've been in crypto and blah, blah. And I'm like, so where's your gaming experience? How many of you built a game? How many know how to run a gaming studio? How many of you have friends that have built $500 million games that actually are revenue positive? How many of you? None? Okay, I don't want to invest in your project either, because you clearly have no idea what you're doing and you're probably not going to be successful.
All right, couple questions out of that. A couple of questions. Hold on, because I got to follow up on some things that you said. You touched on a lot of things there. Tokenomics, that's huge, and token models. I love that you said that. That's really important. Curious, out of all crypto, okay, off the top of your head, not just gaming, all crypto, off the top of your head, 2 or 3 projects that you think have the best tokenomics in terms of token utility, token models moving forward. What are they?
Honestly, do you want to know my honest opinion?
Honest.
Exchanges. You will
decentralized
never,
DEXs or exchanges?
All exchanges, as long as they provide value to the token through what they're doing. Always.
All
And
right, so
why?
name a couple specific ones that you're super bullish on out of the DEXs, a couple of DEXs and a couple of centralized ones that you like.
Okay, so DEXs, I'm very bullish on like Aldrin, because it's on Solana and it plays really nice in narrative. Same with Radium, also. Trader Joe over on ATHs. Stuff like, and these aren't just tokenomics models, these are narratives, because they will make money because you need the token people will use. Binance is another great example because it has a whole entire ecosystem around it. Binance Smart Chain is almost like an L1, but it's not. It's an EVM, but it runs like one, right? It has so much utility. So exchanges can provide utility on another level. And it doesn't really matter which one, honestly. As long as people use it, people really do trade on it. And we have like maybe 10 in the industry. We have like our major ones: KuCoin, Binance, Coinbase, FTX, OKX, Huobi, Ascendex. Who else is there that we would consider a decent exchange? I'm probably missing one or two, but those are probably the major ones. Maybe there'd be like Kraken and like Gemini in the US. Right. But in general, those would be like our main ones that have true real volume and aren't just like bots just basically wash trading, right? So those projects, those exchanges all have tokens. Go look at the history of those tokens. Then go look at the history of tokens that came out this year. And if you realize like some of them are undervalued and people really are using those DEXs, or people are really using those centralized exchanges and they need to use the token at some point in like as a part of what they're doing, whether it's save fees or governance, those will go up in value. And all of them have. Sushi's gone up in value, KCS has gone up in value, Huobi token, BNB. I mean, I remember buying BNB at $15. I was on Rand's show, I think 6 months ago. I was on Rand's show. He said, tell me a coin is going to be really big. And I was like, dude, BNB's $30. I think it's going to go to like 60. And he was like, no, tell me one that's going to 10x. And it like 20x, right? Yeah. The point is like, the narratives, right? Who is going to use Binance? Mostly everybody. Now that's changing. So FTX is going to start getting some more value capture because Binance is kind of having a lot of regulatory scrutiny, right? So
FTX has been doing some incredible things too in terms of marketing.
Man, I know the guys there. I've known Sam since before FTX, right? So you see what these guys do before, and then you know what they can do when they're there. And like, I had the opportunity to seed invest in FTX. I didn't do it because it was the bear market, and it's a big regret I have from this bear market because it was 100x, like easy 100x. It was a guarantee. So this cycle, when I had the opportunity to invest in Phoenix Flow and Rin, if Bullish does a token out of the US, the company called Bullish is launching an exchange, I will buy their tokens because those tokens always are going to have a reason to be existing. The problem with most projects and most gaming projects is they have a token that you can play and you can earn, but there's no actual people having a need to buy the token. There's no actual modeling of revenue models. For example, like let's say you're a game and you want to advertise. You don't have to advertise in annoying ways like YouTube. You could advertise on a building in your game, in your metaverse, while people are walking around, they see McDonald's. Like you could do that, and what does it do? You could take 50% of revenue from advertising and put it back into the token and buy back your own token, which creates a model which for long term will actually do well for the game. The game will make more profit, the players will make more profit. You have new things that you can do. McDonald's wants data. If you have 500,000 users, they want the data on those users. They want to know if they like McDonald's McChickens or McFishes. So you do a play to earn thing, and at the end, do you want to earn like a few extra tokens? Okay, answer this survey. Things like that, right?
Yeah, totally.
Can just add so much value. But the thing is, most of these projects I talked to, they haven't even thought about it. There's no foresight into like how are they going to make money in 6 months from now? They're like, we need to make money now. Give us money. And they're not thinking of like, okay, I give you my money, but as an investor, I want you to increase the value of my money that I give you. If I give you 25 grand, I want it to be 100, right?
Those are such great points. I want to nail you down on a couple. Gaming. You say that you turn down most of them that come to you. Give us 2 or 3 in the gaming that you think have the best teams, the best long-term future?
I think it's not always about the team, it's about the people, right? So there's games, and then there's metaverses, and then there's metaverses with games. I personally believe, and if you pulled that list up, you could see, I believe in things that have both. So I'm a big investor in Warena. I'm a big investor in Star Atlas. I'm a big investor inside of Game, which isn't in metaverse, but it's really fun and has a lot of different stuff that it does, and it works with Animoca brands. I'm a big investor in Wilder World and Network. And I'm not just an investor in the token. I'm an investor in the land sale. I'm an investor in the cars and vehicles they have. I'm an investor inside of the buildings they're selling. Why am I doing all that? Right? Because I truly believe that I'm going to take my Oculus Quest one day, or I'm going to take a Google Shield, and I'm going to literally be inside of a metaverse with my friends, talking and chilling and doing stuff. That's where we're going.
We'll see you in there. We'll see you in there.
Yeah.
Don't kill us with your sword and your. So we're looking.
Killing games. We can all go chill. We can do a conference inside of a metaverse. Technically, right? There's no limitation to a metaverse.
For sure. So we're looking at we're looking this morning, Coach K. Guys, make sure you follow him on Twitter at Coach K Crypto. He put his personal opinion, potential all-time highs for this cycle. I'm imagining this goes to. Make sure you check that out. We're looking at that list right now, Coach K.
Do you think any of that is it's unreasonable? Or do you think most of those are reasonable? Or do you think some of those are way too low?
Well, I think some are quite conservative, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, what kind of timeline? What kind of timeline were you thinking when you're thinking about these numbers?
Okay, so first of all, the investment thesis, right? So you can see there's a lot of different stuff on there, right? So you have stuff like MBX, which is a full ecosystem for payments and gateways, and it's completely integrated all across the United States and Canada. You can use it with your bank. You can use it with crypto. It's awesome, right? That's one thing. You have things like Tau, which is an L1 blockchain. You have Eternity, which is, working with all the all-stars, players, basketball, hockey, Messi, we signed everyone. So that is something as an NFT project, regardless of bear market or bull market, people are always going to be collectors. They're going to want to connect with athletes, celebrities, musicians, etc. So that will have a high value proposition. Then you have Kylan, which is kind of like C3 and Link and stuff for DOT ecosystem, right?
Oh yeah, we love Kylan.
They're kind of doing it more on the data side, but data is the money value. This is a huge value capture. So I think there's a huge value in them, and they can also technically work with Link, for example. They don't have to just say, "Oh, we have to be different."
Tell us why you think XRP is going to be at $0.
I have no. Okay, if you've been in this space for as long as I have, you would realize that it's probably, if you invested in XRP since last bear market, it is literally, no bullshit, one of the worst investments you could have ever made in your whole entire life compared to any other crypto in the market other than scam coins.
I don't know. My ex-girlfriend was a bad investment. I got to be honest with you. That was quite bad.
I invested in BlackBerry at its peak. Was that a good one?
Oh, hey, anything you invest into at its peak is never a good time. It's always a bad day. I've done it. We've all done it.
No, but I get you. So on XRP, you're saying it's been a horrible investment.
All right, there's one. Okay,
look,
but
some people think some things that came out of XRP will do well. I don't disagree as much as that, but I just don't think that XRP itself has proven anything in this long. It's been around for almost 10 years. It has done literally nothing. Nothing. I don't see any banks using it. I don't see anyone giving a shit. And you know what I see banks actually using? Something that makes a lot more fucking sense. A stable coin. No one wants to send XRP through their super fast technology and have to then sell it into that currency and all that. It costs money, even if it's pennies. No one wants to do it. No one wants to have to deal with all the headaches. People would rather go, oh, you sent me a digital euro. We're going to convert that into me $1. And this is how much you get. And everyone's like, cool, I can use that dollar. XRP is a complete sham. I don't believe in it at all. And honestly, most of the people that I know that have made multi-millions of dollars in the industry would tell you the exact same thing. So it doesn't mean that we're right because we made more money. It means that XRP just has been a terrible investment. If you bought XRP in the last bull market, in the middle of the cycle, you still would be at a loss, correct, as of today. So why the hell would you have bought it? If you bought Bitcoin in the middle of the last cycle, you would be up 5x, 6x. If you bought Ethereum last cycle, you'd be up like 20x.
So I love it. This is controversial. You're making a few people really angry, which I love. I love it. Well, one guy made 4x on it since 2017. So that's 4 years. That's 1x a year, which in crypto is like
Listen,
not very
Milt,
good.
if you would have listened to me last week, Milton, you would have done a 1x on Star Atlas at 7 cents last week.
Oh, I know. Get that down. Okay, Coach K, time is not on our side.
Dude, just give me my tokens and I will sell them, and you can have.
All right,
Actually, a very controversial thing happened with me and Star Atlas. If you guys don't know, when Star Atlas was coming out, they kept changing the tokenomics, and I said I'm going to sell all my first initial tokens, and I'm going to short Star Atlas because it was 350x. So the CEO was really angry at me and like made this huge drama. And I was just telling him, I'm like, bro, I'm a trader, and I tell my freaking people that follow me, who follow me for that information, what to do to make money, because that's what I care about. I don't give a shit about your project. I told him straight to his face, I don't give a shit about your project. He was like, what the hell, man? Well, I said, because your project doesn't matter. Like, you are at 350x. I'm greedy if I don't take profit. And honestly, most people that put in $1,000 that are up 300x are going to take profit. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make $500,000 shorting you and selling off my tokens. And what did I do? I made only made $250,000, but I made $250,000 shorting Atlas and selling it off. That was a horrible choice? No, because anyone who followed me made a ton of money too. The idea is, in crypto, there's so many projects that it's so easy to be like, oh, I love this project, oh my God. But you know what the fact is? The people that do that get wrecked.
That's a really great point also that you bring up, because I also think about it like this, you know, everyone is on their own journey with these tokens. Now, depending when you're getting in on it is very different than when someone else got in on it. And so everyone's kind of doing their own journey. Just because you're in the same tokens as someone else doesn't mean you're at the same, place in that story or that journey of that token. Everyone's got to do their own thing based on when they got in, where they're going, their own personal financial situation, all that kind of stuff takes it. You got to take that into consideration. All right, Coach K, we've kept you too long already. Time is not on our side. I could talk crypto with you all day long, so hopefully we'll be able to get you back, because we did not even touch upon so many things. But before I let you go,
for sure,
gun to your head. Okay. For that viewer out there who is just getting into crypto now, looking at your list here on Twitter, Marvin, you can bring this back up.
Yeah.
What is the one project on this list, because I know it's a big range here, that they should start doing research on right now after the show ends, and that you think they need to learn about immediately?
In terms of what? Because it depends on what their thesis is. Which one's going to make them the most gains? Which one's the most safe?
Let's say most gains in the next 3 months.
I would say it's probably something in my Metaverse selection. Maybe something, but they're all really high already. I would say Tau, Lambden.
Wow.
Lambden's probably going to be the biggest winner.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love a man who gives a straight answer. Answer. Tau, T-A-U. Start researching. That's what I'm going to do when we hang up this call. Because I don't know a lot about that project. I need to know more. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Its market cap is far too low at $50 million. Every other L1 is $1 billion market cap. You guys, I'm telling you, when these guys list on a major exchange, which is probably coming at some point in the near future, this will go to $5, $10 probably. I said 4. That's conservative. Probably will go much higher, because every single person in the world who knows how to code in Python. It's there. It works. It's built already. And you can go and use it right now. And if you're a developer on Python, you can go develop on it tomorrow. Like, awesome. There's nowhere else, if you don't know Solidity or Rust or Haskell, where you can just go right now and just start developing. And this is... You guys, look at the exchanges it's on. It's not on anything yet.
I love it.
Pancake.
I love it. I got to check that out.
Richard Hart says this all the time. You look for the stuff with low liquidity. You look for the stuff that has high potential. If you're looking for something that is not a huge risk because it's an L1, it has an ecosystem that can be built around it, and that a lot of people can build on, this is a low risk but a high potential alpha trade. And I look at stuff like that, and I tell my good friends, I tell my family about these exact same trades that I'm telling you guys. I'm not sugarcoating or bullshitting. I always just tell people straight. Like, sometimes I post my tweet and I haven't even told people what I would post on my tweet. I just post it randomly because I don't want to give anyone an unfair advantage. I want people that are here and that are following to actually all have a fair playing field, because that's how it should be. It shouldn't be like, oh, coach tells all his whale friends, like all these other guys, oh, we'll buy this, and it pumps like 800%. And then it's like, oh yeah, you guys should buy it. Right? Tau, the only reason that it's up right now is because a few people bought it on Pancake. But if you actually look at the price on the other exchanges, because Pancake's a one-way bridge, you can't get off and you can't arbitrage. That's the only reason it's so much higher.
Yeah.
So
it's 37 cents on
this
buy
is a
box.
huge opportunity, huge. It's just you have to be patient.
Love it. Love it. Coach K.
Coach K.
He's bringing the gems.
Much love, everybody.
So great to connect with you today. Thanks so much. I hope you'll come back because this was such an amazing chat. And we gave you a gift today. You don't know, but Deviant, who is our best subscriber, he's an amazing community member of CryptoWise. He's now following you. He's now following you.
Thank you, sir.
You've got Deviant on your side. He's good luck. He's good luck. All right, Coach K, get some sleep, man.
All right.
Thanks a lot
Thanks,
for doing this.
Coach.
Really appreciate it.
Cheers.
Ciao, man.
Cheers.
My pleasure. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
All right, Milt.
Wow,
we had
that was
Coach.
a great conversation.
Controversial.
I
Controversial.
love controversy.
I mean, he has a lot of good wisdom. I gotta say, Coach has a lot of he had a lot of great things to say, regardless of everyone agrees with everything that's being talked about. That's what crypto is, right?
Yeah. You agree with some, you disagree with others, but the one thing you can't take away from him, he's been in the space for a very long time, and that experience, you do learn a lot no matter what. So for newbies out there, don't just believe everything that we say or he says. It's not about that. Do your own research. But people who've been in the space, they have experience, and that can help.
They can definitely help. And all of our CryptoWise family, we love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Please do us a huge favor and smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Join us in the family. And we will be back very soon with some amazing new content.